result, whatever the result might be, against Real Madrid. We're live on Facebook. We'll also take your calls before we leave the show today. Welcome to Just Football. I'm not here alone. My friends are here. I've got Daniel Mayokun here, and I've got Femighty also in the studio this afternoon. Femi, what's good?
Good afternoon to you, Blessing. Good afternoon to our beautiful listener. It's good to be back here this wonderful Wednesday afternoon. So much has happened in the world of football already. So much happened during the weekend. So much happened yesterday. And definitely we're looking forward to so much more happening later today, including also Thursday. And concerning Chelsea, well, I'm just going to say this. I said something this morning, and I'm going to say it again. I just hope that, there'll still... my hope for Chelsea today is that after tonight's game, that there'll still be a need for a second leg. Whatever it is, I don't want it to be I don't want the second leg to be a formality after tonight. So whatever it is, I want for there to still be a second leg at least to play for after tonight. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, will there be a second leg to play for after tonight? Well,
for example, as far as I'm concerned, there's no second leg, to play for.
I mean, it was as though Manchester City were listening to me on Sports Bank yesterday. I thought I could count on Thomas Tuchel, and I wouldn't say his experience playing against Pep Guardiola, but he always seems to know how to handle Pep Guardiola teams, and I thought that could repeat itself. But how wrong I was. I'll be first to admit that I was wrong.
This thing works like a sword, actually. I feel like it could have cut both ways. Now, in the sense, in terms of Bayern Munich, I feel like they brought in Thomas Tuchel specifically, unfortunately, for this fixture. I feel like they felt like the knowledge of Thomas Tuchel of Pep Guardiola was going to be brought to bear. He has beaten Guardiola in the final before. They have played against each other in the Premier League before. It's a team and a squad that Thomas Tuchel is supposed to know very well. But unfortunately, it works as a sword in the sense that he only had 2 or 3 previous games in charge of Bayern Munich before Manchester City, and I dare say he was still figuring out his team. He was still trying formations, trying personnel. I can assure you it was not his best personnel that was brought forward yesterday. I looked at the game and you had no Thomas Muller, you had no Sadio Mane. They were putting in crosses into the 18-yard box and had short players up front. There was no top player to get on the end of those crosses. Sane is short, Gnabry is short, Musiala is short. Kingsley Coman was nowhere near the end of any of those crosses. They didn't have to promote him. That is usually their usual striker. So I think he got it wrong. I think he's still figuring it out. And if you look at the result he has garnered, apart from the first game that we can call maybe Managerial bounce, where they walloped Dortmund, by 4-1. After that, they lost in the cup to Freiburg, and they narrowly beat Freiburg in the league by a long-range shot from the Leeds, during the weekend. So I've not really seen a satisfying performance yet from Bayern Munich, and I feel like it's because he's still trying to figure out how he will set up his team. Unfortunately, you can't be figuring out against Manchester City. They will have slapped you for it.
I don't know if that's supposed to be an excuse for...
it's not an excuse because he opened his eyes. He opened his eyes down and he put Muller and Mane on the bench. Honestly, that is an unforgivable offense.
Okay, before we get right into Champions discussion, I'm going to start from the Nigerian scene. But first off, let me bring on board Daniel. It's great to see you, Daniel. Welcome. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Ibadan. Good afternoon. It's good to be here. Well, it's quite unfortunate. I wouldn't delve into that Bayern match. Instead, Inter Milan. I never saw that coming.
Of course, we'll get into that part of the Champions League. We'll get into that part indeed. But guys, let's start off from the MPFL before we take a break. And Wiki Tourist, yesterday we heard from the Interim Management Committee, that's the organizers of the Nigeria Premier Football League, that they have slammed Wiki Tourist with a 3-point deduction following the unruly behavior of their fans in the 2-1 home loss to Bayelsa United on Sunday. And by virtue of that ruling, the Elephants became the 3rd club in this season to receive point deduction after Bayelsa United and Remo Stars. And in the summary jurisdiction notice signed by Davidson Owumi, who is the head of operations of the IMC, the club faced faced a monetary fine totaling 2.5 million naira, 3 points deduction and 3 goals deduction, and as well as the closure of their stadium to fans for the rest of the season. Now they have the right to appeal those sanctions, and they have to do that within the next 48 hours. And that's coming just barely 24 hours after the head coach, Abdullahi Adamu, decided to resign his position with the club. And now with these sanctions, they are currently placed bottom of Group B with just 9 points and 5 games left to be played. Similarly, for Sunshine Stars, they were fined 1 million naira by the IMC for inadequate security at the match venue during their 1-1 draw against Enugu Rangers on Sunday. IMC said findings from a review of the match official reports indicted the club for failing to implement effective crowd control as the supporters threw objects onto the field of play, targeting players and match officials, which resulted in the disruption of the match. Now, there are also risk of a possible closure of their stadium to fans if there should be a repeat of the breach. Femighty, one thing seems to have been constant so far this season. The sanctions are not they are not merely threats.
They're not virtual sanctions.
Exactly, they've been carried out.
Definitely, and I think if there is any reason to give kudos to the IMC, I think the firm nature they've handled, the organization of the league this season, I think it's one to actually laud them for. I mean, we've seen, first and foremost, we saw them cracking down on referees, where after like 5-6 match days, a couple of referees were suspended and some were put on probation, and also now this. One of the things, or should I say the thing, what I know is that most of the issues that we've got with the leagues, apart from, bad facilities, is some of those things. Number one, crowd violence, or should I say stadium violence. Number two is poor officiating. These are the things that brings our league to disrepute. And if we're talking about making our league marketable. For a couple of years now, we've not had a name sponsor. Before now, our two telecommunication giants were usually vying or fighting each other, tussling for the right to be the name sponsor for the league. Now there is nothing like that. If we want to get back to that, if we want to make the league attractive to sponsors and investors, we've got to cut out all these things. And I like the ruthless manner in which they're actually handling it. I mean, 2.5 million naira fine. I know that will not mean anything to the clubs, but you see that 3 points and 3 goals, I think that is the main thing. And as I said earlier, I also love how quickly they are delivering judgments. I mean, this thing happened on Sunday, and by yesterday, Tuesday, judgment, everything they had reviewed, they had sat, and they had taken a decision already. I think I give kudos to the IMC, honestly. I just hope, because this is Nigeria, and we know that when a new body is constituted, there's what we call initial gragra. I just hope that in the next 2-3 years, if interim becomes permanent, I hope that they can continue in this vein.
We hope that they can continue. But with the history of the football league in Nigeria, they've come a long way. We've come from having to dish out points in boardroom meetings. Remember what we would call boardroom points back in the days, where, it's just a committee deciding, okay, you know what, 3 points is going to this person. Just out of the blues, especially for teams who refuse to play games for whatever reasons or the other. And then, there's a boardroom meeting and they, okay, give them 3 points. And that's because they don't want them to be angry or whatever it is. And also a point where we're giving virtual sanctions that they usually aren't carried out, to having these sanctions and actually being carried out. I'm speaking of giving suspended 3 points deduction. You commit a crime, not a crime, but an offense.
An offense,
you commit an offense, repeat the offense again, and then you're getting suspended 3 points, suspended 3 goals deduction. But there seems to be a credible change. But like you said, but overall, not just with the sanctions, how would you rate the IMC?
Well, actually, this is their first bite at the cherry. Let's put it that way, and I think it's been beautiful. Actually, I think they've tightened up the loose ends. Let's put it that way. I mean, I've talked about the officiating. They've actually cracked down a lot on on referees, especially in the first half of the season. And you can see this season that there have been away wins. I think the last match day there were 2 away wins, and there was no problem. It wasn't like, and when the home teams also have won, we've not had the controversies have reduced. Let me put it that way. When it comes to the referees, and of course we've seen this clamp down also on unruly behavior, and we have also heard that the officials are being paid as at when due. And I think I even heard an interview, I think it was of Davison Oumi or someone else, who was saying that the sponsors are paying the referees, that they were not even collecting the referees' money to pay them. They were sending the referees' bank accounts directly to the sponsors. Pay them. There won't be any. Don't
send it through anyone.
Don't send it through us. They have executed this match day, and they make sure that the referees get their money at least a day or the day of the match day, at least before the kickoff of the game they are to officiate. So I think all those things are things that we need to laud them. We need to praise them for. I don't want to be a pessimistic person and say how long will it last. Well, the fact is it's happening right now, and it's wonderful actually. The interim management committee, honestly, I'll give them more than pass mark. I think first season handling the NPFL, they've done absolutely well.
They've done so well, and according to reports that we got about 2 hours ago, Fatai Osho is back with Rivers United. Remember last week we were talking about how he announced his resignation via Facebook.
Last week it was just, I think, on Monday.
It was on Monday. It was on Monday. It was on Monday, yes. I mean, where he announced his retirement or resignation rather via Facebook, and I think I remember taking a report that the general manager of the team wasn't even aware that he had resigned, and he left the team on their when they played away to, I think it was in Kano or Kaduna, I can't remember where precisely.
I think it was an away game in
somewhere in the northern side, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was Kaduna.
Yeah, they were supposed to move to Jos, and then he left the camp there, resigned.
I think it was a game against Doma.
And the reports that we got is that there seemed to be a case of disrespect, not valuing him enough, valuing his contribution enough in the camp, but he's back. What could have happened?
I would not want to say some of the things I said off air, but then the fact is this: I will just cap it up by saying Fatai Osho is a valuable member of the backroom staff, and I can assure you that whatever happened, whatever talks that happened that made Fatai Osho make that U-turn, it was not Fatai Osho groveling. Rather, it must have been the other way around, because some of those who don't know what goes on behind the scenes may not understand the influence and the impact of Fatai Osho in that Rivers United team. But I can assure you, I can't say more than this, is a very valuable member of the backroom staff. So I'm sure it's one that Rivers United management that know what his influence is and what his impact is would not want to lose. And I think they have done whatever it is that they've needed to do to get him back on board. I mean, and I have to say also kudos to the Rivers United should I say backroom staff, the hierarchy, because sometimes pride comes into these things and you just say, let him get out. Let him go, yeah. But then I think for them to have swallowed their pride and still brought him to the table and said, okay, let's hear your grievances, because I'm sure this is what would have happened. Let's hear your grievances. How can we,
make things better.
Make things better, and get him back on board within that short period of time. I mean, within 2 days. I think it's very good. And they are going into the business end of the season. They are in the quarterfinals of the CAF Confederations Cup. They are in the Super 6 race in the NPFL. This is not the time to lose a valuable member of the backroom staff. So absolutely amazing how they've handled what should have been a crisis sort of situation.
Interesting how they've handled it. Resigned on Monday and reinstated on Wednesday. The story of Fatai Osho. All of that announced via his official Facebook page. And for Shooting Stars, they played a game at the weekend against Remo Stars. That was on Sunday. And 1-1 it ended. That was the Southwestern Derby. But now the management of Shooting Stars has appealed for patience and more support from teaming fans of the club. Daniel, they're asking you to be patient. They're asking you to support them. Continue to support them.
And for how long would that be?
Stand behind your team until you start seeing results, basically.
Oh, really? When people lose their trust in the team, and of course lose their patience in the team, of course you expect people to voice out I mean, this is a team you actually...
Are we in a crisis situation? I asked this question earlier today on, our media group, or your state, media group on WhatsApp. Are we in a crisis situation? Is Shooting Stars in a crisis situation right now?
Well,
because this feels like a crisis statement. I didn't expect this release. I mean, we only drew a game. We still won away. We still won away a couple of, and it felt like everywhere was bouncing. Shooting Stars are.
But maybe it's coming from a sense of responsibility that we know we should be doing more. We should be doing better, and we are not giving that. Maybe that's where it's coming from. Or do you need fans to start breathing down your neck before you understand that results have not been consistent? Maybe not.
Or perhaps it's just been humble and trying to bring the fans, back.
What was the expectation for this season?
For me, I think the expectation should be about avoiding the drop.
And I think we're doing that very well.
But for a team that barely also avoided the drop last season, you would expect that the goal should be higher than that. Don't you think?
Okay, well, yes, for the team that barely avoided the drop last season, yes. But then for a team that just started a rebuilding process, I would not expect anything special. We just let go of a lot of players and the manager. We just brought in another set of a lot of players and another manager. And we want what to happen. We want them to qualify for the continent within 1 season.
Well, when you say rebuilding how?
Well, because...
What sets of players?
Because so many things has changed.
Journeymen?
Well,
because if you are going to rebuild, then it means you are telling me that for the next 2-3 seasons or thereabouts, you have to keep a core of the team. You have to keep them consistent and compact. But what we have in the NPFL mostly is about journeymen going and coming.
That's what.
So can you ever rebuild in that situation?
Okay, let's not say rebuilding in the true sense of it. Let's say what we have been promised, or what has been said to us at the beginning of the season or at the end of last season when Agoye was let go and the Oracle was brought on board and a couple of players were let go and a lot of players were brought on board, is that we want to start a rebuilding process. So based on what they have said, maybe not the real meaning of it, based on what they have said, we are rebuilding. And really, are we doing badly if we're actually rebuilding?
Is that question for me?
because this already feels like a crisis statement.
I don't think that question is for me to answer anyway, but hey, I get what you're coming from.
On the NPFL table, the two teams that are in relegation are on 9 and 8 points. We are on 17. We are nowhere near relegation.
So what's the point gap between 17th and the relegation?
We're like 11 points.
So you think 11 points could not be crushed at any point?
11 points?
Okay, we're like 9.
Femighty, let's go on a break. We need to go on a very quick commercial break. When we return, we'll talk about women's football for a bit. Talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria, who were in action yesterday in that friendly against New Zealand. 3-0 we won, and it's 3 victories back to back to back. Okay, is this redemption for Super Falcons?
Are we ready to take on the world?
Are we ready to take on the world in the World Cup? When we return from this break, we'll talk about that. And of course, talk about the Champions League. Keep it locked. It is still just football.
Lójoojúmọ́ ní oṣù ológo Ramadan yìí a máa ń dìde láti agbègbè ìtùnú wa láti jẹ́ ìpè Allah tó ń fún wa ní ìbùkún àìlópin. A máa ń fi ohun mímu, jíjẹ àti ìgbáládùn ara sílẹ̀ nítorí àwọn àǹfààní èrè ọ̀run. Nítorí náà, tí a bá péjọ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹbí wa ní iftar, ẹ jẹ́ kí a rántí láti pín àwọn ìtùnú àkókò yìí. Vitafoam ń kí yín kú ọdún Ramadan tí ó kún fún ìfẹ́ àti ìrẹ́pọ̀. Ramadan Kareem, Vitafoam fún ìgbà ayé tó lárinrin àti ojúlówó.
Now that you have finished WAEC exams, what's next? Enroll for A-level program at OBMS Cambridge Advanced Level College, Total Garden, Ibadan for Cambridge A-level or JUPEP A-level programs. It is your best option for admission to 200 level in Nigerian universities or admissions to overseas universities. We are known for excellent teaching and outstanding results with seasoned and full-time teachers, affordable fees, moral and spiritual development of students. We have boarding facilities. Enroll now and join the award-winning team at OBMS Advanced Level College, Total Garden, Ibadan. We also offer SAT, TOEFL, IELTS, and more. For more information, visit us at Orita Mefa Baptist Mission Schools, Queen Elizabeth Road, Total Garden, Ibadan. Website, www.oritamefabaptistschools.com. Phone number, 080-338-61091. Orita Mefa Baptist Mission Schools. Excellence through integrity.
This is what goodness tastes like. Golden for every moment.
Introducing Cadbury Caramel Candy, Cadbury Coffee, and your favorite Cadbury Buttermint candies. Now there's lots more to share and enjoy.
Oh yeah, there's a Cadbury candy for every moment.
Latest School Easy Life Business and Service Technology Hub. We don't bring comfort for people. Na Botinga app, your multi-service platform where you fit order sharp for any service provider, market or anything where you need online. Just download Botinga app. Come begin the order for any professional service where you want. You fit order for taxi ride or any services like fashion designer, hairdresser, mechanic, barber, painter, photographer, dry cleaner, carpenter, makeup artist, plus others them on top Botinga app. And you will be service provider. You fit register your service and take and connect to more customers for better sales enjoyment. You fit render your service with your own private motor car as driver. To they make extra money, just download Botinga provider on top Google Play Store and Apple Store today. Make people begin the order for your services anytime from anywhere. With Botinga, everything done dey easy. No be for mouth. This one na easy life. For more tori, visit www.botinga.com or we office wey dey for former MTN office opposite Methodist Church, Bodija, Ibadan, Tolon 0810 934 6512. Botinga app, service and business comforts.
Building on the successful completion of our first session with attendance testimony of our professional handling of the classes, we invite interested applicants to enroll for the next stream at the Splash FM Media Academy, an arm of the West Midlands Communications Limited. Our mandate to restore professional excellence in the broadcast industry is still on course, and that's why we invite you to hurry up and enroll now for full-time and part-time intensive practical lectures in presentation, journalism, programs and content development, basic production and digital media, presentation in Yoruba, and so on, leading to the award of Certificate of Proficiency in Broadcast Journalism. Course duration is 6 weeks of intensive practical classes plus interactive practical mentorship sessions with veterans and industrial placement. To register, visit the Splash FM Media Academy beside White House, Felele, Ibadan. For inquiries, call 070-543-93332 or 080-569-98676. On Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, we are at Splash FM Academy.
Màámi, ṣé gbogbo ife Bonvita ilẹ̀ fẹ́ pín?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni, ó ṣàmọ̀ pé àkókò yìí ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan pínpín.
Torí ẹ̀ ní Bonvita ṣe ń pín 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí alátùrọ̀ onígíráàmù 104 kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ife wọ̀nyí á jẹ́ ti bọ̀dá Musa, alábàágbé wa, ìyàwó wọn, Uncle K.
Lákòókò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn àfikún 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí Bonvita alátùrọ̀ 104 gíráàmù tẹ́ bá rà. Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí àfikún ìṣaralóore jíjára ti Bonvita. Bonvita, ó kún fún èròǹgbà rere.
Your pikin don land. Hello. No dull. Give your pikin breast milk sharp inside 1 hour where you born am. Make it take drink that first yellow milk where they call colostrum. That first yellow milk colostrum get everything where your pikin need. Plus say go help protect your pikin against yamayama disease. No forget give your pikin breast inside the first 1 hour when you born am. This message now from Ari Project or your State Ministry of Health.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1, milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo! Splash FM 105.5.
Okay, thank you for keeping along with us right here on Splash 105.5 FM. It is still just football here. Okay, talking about women's football, international friendlies played from yesterday. Nigeria, the Super Falcons, they put up one of their best performances in recent years to trash World Cup co-host New Zealand 3-0 in the pre-World Cup friendly game yesterday. It was played in Antalya in Turkey, and they provided Super Falcons with a chance to play a second friendly game in 5 days after earlier beating 82-1 in that same city. As at yesterday was 100 days to the World Cup, and what a way to get into the groove quote unquote, if I do put it that way. And after the full-time whistle, it brought joy, smiles, and laughter to the faces of the Falcons, who seemed relieved from ending what was the worst run in their history and now having a good run of results once again. But for the friends of New Zealand, a defeat stretched their abysmal run since the end of the Tokyo Olympics now to 10 matches without a win. They are now in a race to be ready for the World Cup, as that game yesterday presented their last major test before the tournament. Nigeria won 3-0. Okay, should we be excited yet again? Is this redemption?
I don't think so, actually. It's a good result. Maybe it can form sort of momentum, but I don't. If you look at the teams they've won, for example, in this international break, they've won 80. 80 is qualifying for the World Cup for the first time. They are not one of the powerhouses that used to prepare for the World Cup. And then if you look at New Zealand, before meeting Nigeria, they were on a run of 9 games without a win. And that is the team that we have won against. The team that have not won a game in the last 9 before meeting us. They are the team that we have beaten and we are celebrating. I'm not sure this is a proper text.
This is the World Cup co-host.
Exactly. Co-host, but what is the matter in women's football? Have we beaten Sweden? Have we beaten even China? Have we beaten Norway? These are the teams that we'll have to go against if we are to do anything meaningful.
But you agree that the powers would give you a perfect picture of what Australia would look like, because we're in the same group with Australia.
New Zealand and Australia. Australia just beat England, the 3 Lionesses, yesterday by 2-0.
Yes.
I don't think New Zealand is anywhere. Sam Kerr plays for Australia. I don't think New Zealand gives any sort of preparation concerning what we're to face against Australia. I don't think so. I mean, when I saw that Sam Kerr plays for Australia, I was just like, because all this while I used to think Sam Kerr was an English.
No, she's not.
For one reason or the other, I never even thought about her coming from another country apart from England. But then, when I saw Sam Kerr yesterday, she ended England's about 30 games unbeaten run. I mean, and we are going to meet Australia.
Daniel.
Well, we shouldn't expect much, but the only thing is at least 3 consecutive wins. That could be a moral boosting for them. I mean, to have some confidence going into the World Cup. But then, Nigerians shouldn't expect much from them. Like I said, if they get out from the group, they're fortunate enough.
Okay, let's listen to the head coach, Randy Waldrum. Speaking after that game, first he was talking about Jennifer Onye Echegini, who scored the second goal, and that was on a debut for the Super Falcons. And then he gave his opinion on the team's performance generally in that game. Listen to Randy Waldrum right here on Just Football.
Well, the exciting thing about that is anytime a player gets to play for their country and they get their first goal, it's the one they always remember. And the good thing about that is the build-up to that goal was absolutely brilliant. And the interplay, the cross and the finish was world-class. And so she'll remember that goal for a long time. But she's really come on in the last year since we first brought her into camp against Canada. And she just continues to get better and better. So I was really happy for her that she finally found the net.
So generally, how will you grade the performance of the team?
You know, I think it's probably still a B. I mean, it's, we got the 3 goals and we got the clean sheet. So I guess maybe I'm a little harsh with that grade. But there's still so many things that we can improve on and do better. And so I think we'll get there. But I think the good thing is, like I said, these last 2 camps we've been building and it's gotten better and better. And this is what we needed leading into camp before the World Cup. Because next we'll go into a training camp for a few weeks prior to heading over to Australia. And that'll give us a good chance to work out some of these things I mentioned earlier, some of the shape and some of our passing quality and some of our movements. It'll help us with that. But we're getting there. We were much better in both games with those things this camp.
Okay, Coach Randy Waldrum says we're getting better, at least from the last 2 games. It looks like we're getting better. But of course, there are certain things to work on, passing, positioning. Those are the things that he mentioned. I mean, I think those are basic things that a footballer should know. But it's good to know that he's identified these things. And let's see how well he works on them. And with preparation, let's get to know what the training camp would look like. And I think one of the things that I probably saw was him understanding what his starting 11 should look like. Because he had the same 11 that started against Haiti Femighty, and then brought them back home against New Zealand yesterday. So maybe he has an idea already of what the starting 11 should be like. Tony Payne, looks like she has finally confined Ngozi Okobi to the bench because she's had to play that role, and Okobi's had to come on for her. I'm just saying, just me giving what I thought, but I've always thought that Tony Payne has been fantastic since she joined the Super Falcons. And her sister, although the sister has not had, Nico Payne has not had as much chances like Tony Payne to show herself. Same with Michelle Alozie from the left back position as well. She's given a good account of herself since she's joined, and perhaps there'll be more names that'll be caught up before I like
the injection of new blood into the Super Falcons.
I mean, we've tried a number of legs. Onyinyechi Zog at some point, but she's not back here. Plumter as well does well on the defense when she has the chance as well. So far so good. So other games, Italy defeated Colombia 2-1, and Portugal had a 1-0 draw with Wales. Germany lost to Brazil 2-1. Brazil came from losing the Finalissima, the first edition of the Finalissima to England, to beating Germany 2-1, and I mentioned looking forward to Hervé Renard and his reign as the coach of the French national team. That's the women's national team. He won his first game yesterday against Canada 2-1, and the USA recorded a victory over Republic of Ireland. And England, like Femighty mentioned earlier, they had their 30-game unbeaten run ended by Australia. It was 2-0, and Sarina Vegeman, the coach of England, says she's not worried about Australia ending that unbeaten run. So maybe she's got her sights on the World Cup proper.
Sam Kerr, 1 goal, 1 assist.
We should be scared about Sam. We should be scared of Sam Kerr. We should be scared of Sam Kerr. I mean, if you watch Chelsea ladies, then you can understand. I mean, how much of influence that she has on that team. Okay, guys, let's talk about Champions League, and starting with you, Dan. Benfica and Inter Milan. Who would have thought that Benfica, being the most informed team of both sides, would lose at home to Inter Milan?
Honestly, nobody would have thought that. Even the so-called pundits, they wouldn't have seen that coming. I mean, Benfica have been fantastic so far in the league, and Inter have been struggling in the last 5 matches. They've not won in the league. So you expect them now going into the Champions League. Though when I saw the formation, Inter Milan deploy the usual formation they deploy, 3-5 and 2 up front. Now you see those 2 flanks, giving them the free hand to bounce forward and assist and put a cross across to the 2 man up front in Zeko and Lautaro Martinez. But then I expected Benfica at least to grind a result, being at home. We have been a fortress for them this season, even away as well too. So we expect them to grind a result. But when I saw the first goal coming, I was like, I have to switch my attention from watching the humiliation from Bayern receiving and focus my attention on Benfica, because I never expected Benfica to lose 2-0. Even a draw, I wasn't expecting it. I mean, the last match, Inter Milan playing the group stage, they were just, they managed to get out of the group stage. And now seeing them going away, that is amazing. Nobody expected that from them. And now coming back home, it's more or less a done deal. But don't forget, this same Inter, they've done similar thing, going away and win 1-0 and come back up to lose scandalously. So it's not over yet for Benfica, but it will be very, very difficult for them.
Very difficult for Benfica. Okay, now that's a team that finished top of the group. That's in the group stages of the Champions League. In the same group alongside the likes of Juventus, if I'm not mistaken, finished at top of that group.
Honestly,
falling to Inter Milan.
For that game yesterday, I think that's what experience does. I think, funny enough, Benfica had control of the game, had better of the ball. But then, at the end of the day, Inter Milan made it count when they had the ball. Inter Milan curtailed Benfica very well, and when the chances came, they took it perfectly well. So at the end of the day, it's not about form in the Champions League. It's about effect and experience.
Effectiveness and experience.
And that's what Inter Milan showed yesterday.
That's what they showed. Remember, there are no more away goals, so anything can happen. But if Inter Milan could go to Benfica and record 2 new victories, I don't
think the Giuseppe Meazza, they will lose by 3-0. So I think that's done.
Anyway, and then let's talk about City and Bayern Munich for Mighty 3-0. I mean, I felt, seeing that game yesterday, I felt like City have conserved their energy all through the start of the season to this very point, because they were frightening yesterday.
Pep Guardiola said it before the game yesterday that this is the time of the season that he loves the most. This is the time of the season that excites him the most. People call it the business end of the season, when the Champions League is getting to those crucial stages, and if you're also in the title race, is getting to those topsy-turvy stages, and that's where the brilliant ones actually shine forth. And I think that's what we saw yesterday. Honestly, I have to give kudos to Manchester City because yesterday they had to play in a way they are not used to. Now, if you know Manchester City, their usual MO is they control the game, they dominate you, they pass you, and at the end of the day, maybe even if you're going to win, you're going to have to hit them on the counter. But yesterday, it was Manchester City having to sit back. It was Manchester City having to be patient. It was Manchester City, at least for the most part of the first half.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Manchester City having to, run around and try to, curtail and then hit on the counter, trying to send the long balls to either Jack Grealish or Bernardo Silva on the wings, But, the hallmark of a good team is being able to play in diverse ways. Whichever way a game comes, you can follow that game suit. That's the hallmark of a good team, and that is what Pep Guardiola and Manchester City showed yesterday, that we can not only play one way, you can also adapt in difficult circumstances. And yesterday, they really had to be patient. And once they had their first goal, they were patient again. And at some point, one thing about games is that at the end of the day, no matter how much you don't have the possession, you always have your chances. Yesterday, it was about taking your chances. Bayern Munich had theirs. Unfortunately, there was no one to finish for them, so they just had possession and were just knocking. They didn't really even trouble Ederson like that. But then when Manchester City had the ball, they were effective. They would make sure that they would either draw a save out of Jan Sommer or a block out of someone. And at the end of the day, when it comes to being effective, it was more of Manchester City, and they got their goals. They always have the guys that will put the balls away in the net.
And at some point, it was difficult for me to determine who was the worst player on the pitch on the pitch for Bayern between Upamecano and Alphonso Davies. I thought they were horrible. Both of them. They
were both terrible, actually, as far as I'm concerned.
I think Upamecano played decently in the first half, but the second half was terrible, and I think he would have loved the match to the end of time.
Could it be that Thomas Tuchel is trying to introduce something they are not used to,
at this stage of the season,
playing from the back and all that?
I saw them trying to do that a lot.
It almost cost them.
It cost them now. Upamecano was trying to.
In fact, prior to that time, it almost cost them when Allard about to with the goalkeeper almost
and eventually the second goal was as a result of Upamecano dancing on the ball and trying to play out from the back.
Truth be told, I felt bad for Tuchel. Why? This is not the right time to have gone to Bayern, and I wasn't surprised. I mean, because how on earth will you fire Nagelsmann? I keep asking that question. A man who has played 8 matches and won 8 matches, in the Champions League, considered just 2 goals. Now just watch that match yesterday; they considered 3.
That's more than they've considered all season.
More than all season in the Champions League. You fire that man and you bring... I said it last week.
And at a time in the season where the league was basically done and the Champions League was all you had to fight for.
This man was doing fantastically well. And you fired him, bring in Tuchel. Tuchel could have seen the direction of the world and hold on to the end of the season because it was just a trap.
And quickly before we go, I don't want to exonerate Tuchel out of all this. He messed up big time. All the experience.
Why do you have money on the bench?
All the experienced players.
But truth be told, Mane has been on the bench for some time.
But wait,
coming back from injury, he has been on the bench. He just came back from injury.
Mane and Muller on the bench. Cancelo that trains.
Muller has not been playing much this season as well too.
Cancelo that trains against these guys and knows them in and out on the bench.
Isn't Cancelo on
the only player?
No, but he's eligible.
The only player
he came off the bench yesterday. So why not start him?
The only player they missed is this is a Cameroonian striker.
Choupo-Moting.
Exactly. Because there wasn't threat in that front. Gnabry was just isolated. It wasn't in that match at all.
Okay, I see the call's trying to call me. We'll talk about that. But I'd like to know, apart from, what you think about Chelsea and Real Madrid, we'll talk about that when we return from this break. I also like to know, from what you saw of Manchester City yesterday, how frightening they were. Is this their year? In terms of Champions League now, that's not with any other thing.
I'm even thinking of a trouble right now.
Is this City's year?
I'm not.
When we return from this break, we'll take the BBC Premier League updates, pay some bills, and then we'll return to talk about this. We're live on Facebook. You can put your message there, leave your comments on our Facebook fan page, or you can call us. But when we return from this break, that's when we'll talk about that. Keep it locked. It is still Just Football.
Your hustle just found powerful partners. HP's new laptop,
powered by 11th generation Intel Core i5 processor, is built to get you closer to your goals. Long battery life, so you can work long hours without interruption, plus impressive speed and performance to match your grit and determination. HP ProBook 440 G8 Notebook PC 2X7U7EA, powered by 11th generation Intel Core i5 processor, is available at all DreamWorks stores. Call 0808-553-8331 or visit www.dreamworksdirect.com for more information. HP with Intel, the technology partners of your hustle. Look for Intel.
Get more from your afternoons. Plug into the good vibes. Make your day a lot more fun and exciting on the Splash PM Vibe. I'm talking bands, trivia, social media trends, and celebrity wars. Everything that means anything to you.
So it's your girl, Ira Star, and you're listening to Toyosi on Splash FM.
Hi, what up, peeps? It's your man, Vector the Viper, aka VC, and I'm hanging with my girl, Omo Toyosi, on Splash.
Hi there, my name is Johnny Drill, and you're listening to Toyosi.
You're not on social media? Not to worry. We'll be bringing social media to you on the Splash PM Vibes. Join Oluwatoyosi Oloshunde on the Splash PM Vibes Thursdays, 1:15 to 2 p.m. exclusively on Splash 105.5 FM. The Splash PM Vibes, bringing back the fun to your afternoon.
Lójoojúmọ́ ní oṣù ológo Ramadan yìí, a máa ń dìde láti agbègbè ìtùnú wa láti jẹ́ ìpè Allah tó ń fún wa ní ìbùkún àìlópin. A máa ń fi ohun mímu, jíjẹ àti ìgbáládùn ara sílẹ̀ nítorí àwọn àǹfààní èrè ọ̀run. Nítorí náà, tí a bá péjọ pẹ̀lú àwọn ẹbí wa ní iftar, ẹ jẹ́ kí a rántí láti pín àwọn ìtùnú àkókò yìí. Vitafoam ń kí yín kú ọdún Ramadan tí ó kún fún ìfẹ́ àti ìrẹ́pọ̀. Ramadan Kareem, Vitafoam fún ìgbà ayé tó lárinrin àti ojúlówó.
Wẹ́yíjú mi méjèèjì dáadáa, wàá rí bó ṣe ṣe pàtàkì sí mi tó. Wo inú ọkàn rẹ̀, níbẹ̀ ni mo jókòó sí. Níwọ̀n bá àgbà tó ti rí mi nínú ọkà àyà rẹ̀, o ò nílò àti wo ohunkóhun kiri mọ́ o.
Nígbà tí mi náà kọ́kọ́ fojú kàn ẹ́ ni mo ti rí ìfẹ́. Nígbà tó jàjà fọwọ́ kàn mí, nífẹ̀ẹ́ rẹ ti bò mí mọ́lẹ̀.
Kòkòrò ìfẹ́ mi níbo ló wà o.
Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́. Ètò tó lápẹ́já táwọn èèyàn ń jẹ̀gbáládùn rẹ̀ ní gbogbo alẹ́ ọjọ́bọ̀ Thursday látàgọ́ 10 àbọ̀ àṣálẹ́ ṣáàgó kan òru 10:30 p.m. to 1 a.m. ní Splash FM 105.5. Àwọn orin àdídùn, ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí nípa ìfẹ́ àti ìlàkọjá àwọn olólùfẹ́ ló sodo sí alẹ́ olólùfẹ́.
Olólùfẹ́ wojú mi sọ fún mi.
Orí ètò yìí la ti ń so olólùfẹ́ méjì pọ̀ lábala wọkọ̀wáyà. Àwọn olólùfẹ́ àtàwọn tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ fẹ́ ní ìrírí ìfẹ́ kò kí ń fi ètò yìí ṣeré. Torí àǹfààní àti mú orin àdídùn láti fi ìfẹ́ hàn sí olólùfẹ́ ní wà ní sẹpẹ́. Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́. Ẹ já darapọ̀ mọ́ Olúwagbémiga Adégòkè, arákùnrin Gòkè, àfìdúkọ̀nà ìfẹ́ lọ́jọ́bọ̀ Thursday ọ̀sẹ̀ yìí látàgọ́ 10 àbọ̀ àṣálẹ́ 10:30 p.m. ní ìkànnì Splash FM 105.5. Alẹ́ olólùfẹ́ kò ṣe má gbọ́ ni.
Ọwọ́ mi rè fà mí dání.
Eléyìí fún Yakubu, èyí fún Rasaki, fún Ahmed, fún Aisha, fún Khadija, fún.
Brahimo, ṣé o tún ti tó oúnjẹ ni? Kí ni gbogbo oúnjẹ yìí wà fún?
Wò ó Taofeek, mo ti pinnu láti wọ inú oṣù Ramadan yìí lọ́nà ọ̀tun nípa pípín oúnjẹ sínú Peak Yogurt Drink pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi aláàwẹ̀.
Èrò tó dáa nìyẹn. Ìtọrẹ àánú dára gan-an ni.
Òdodo ọ̀rọ̀, ẹ gba ìtura lákọ̀tun nínú Ramadan yìí pẹ̀lú Peak Yogurt Drink tó ní àkọ̀tun wàrà màlúù nínú.
Peak, reach for your peak. As we continue to go through some kind hard time, Suffrey Bank say make we take am suffree. Everything go better. Papa and mama, sister and brother, uncle and auntie, Suffrey they do 10,000 naira raffle draw when you open account with them. You sef fit follow for the lucky people wey go win 10,000 naira each every month. Which bank dey for you when you no get? Na bank wey remember us during hard times we go follow. Oya, hurry now, go download Suffrey app, that is SOFRI. Make yourself enjoy your own 10,000 naira. Suffrey Naija. Everything go better. Follow their social media for @Bank Suffrey for more tori. Na FCCPC and LRC approve am.
Mommy, Mọ́mì, ṣé gbogbo ife bọ́ǹfìtà ilẹ̀ fẹ́ pín?
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ó ṣàmọ̀ pé àkókò yìí ní ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan pínpín.
Torí ẹ̀ ní bọ́ǹfìtà ṣe ń pín 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí alátùrọ̀ onígíráàmù 104 àbọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan. Àwọn ife wọ̀nyí á jẹ́ ti bọ̀dá Musa, alábàágbé wa, ìyàwó wọn, Uncle K.
Lákòókò yìí, ẹ jẹ́ gbádùn àfikún 50 gíráàmù lórí ìdí bọ́ǹfìtà alátùrọ̀ 104 àbọ̀ gíráàmù tẹ́ bá rà. Ìyẹn túmọ̀ sí àfikún ìṣaralóore dídára ti bọ́ǹfìtà. Bọ́ǹfìtà, ó kún fún èròǹgbà rere.
Okay, we're back still on Just Wall on Splash 105.5 FM. 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706 949 3000. That's how you find us this afternoon. We're also live on Facebook. I'd like to know what you think about City trashing Bayern Munich yesterday and the Chelsea against perennial champions of the Champions League, Real Madrid. What are their chances tonight? I'd like to know from there as well. Okay, first caller here. Hello. Hello. Okay, do call back. 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706 949 3000. Hello, who do we have here?
Good evening, Madam Blessing.
Yes, yes, Joseph, welcome. Let's go.
Now, this match, what I just saw there was that Bayern Munich the teacher find it difficult to change the system of play. When the game is getting more difficult, he should have changed the system of the game. Then, the reason why Man City did not dominate that much was that they were not using their usual wing backs. The 4 people at the back of Man City were central defenders. John Stone and Natanate at the both left wing and right wing. So they are great in defending, but their attacking wise are not there. Instead of Walker and Cancelo then before. So these people hate the attack of a team. But since they were not there, and the speed of De Bruyne and Gundogan has dropped because of age. So they have to be playing like that for a time since they are getting the results. So that's just it. So,
interesting. But is this their year?
Well, the FA Cup, I'm sure they win the FA Cup, but they're ready to.
I mean, when I say is this their year, I mean Champions League. Will they win Champions League? Basically, that's what I'm asking.
That's the only trophy that they haven't won.
If they scale through Bayern, I think
they already scaled through Bayern now. Come on.
Don't say that. It's just Champions League.
Okay. All right.
So you're saying boldly 4-0 at the Allianz.
It's possible.
Oh, Joseph is gone. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you for calling. 08091551055, 08056998678, 0706 949 3000. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. What's your name?
My name is Mr. Francis.
Mr. Francis, welcome. Let's go.
Good afternoon to that guy in the studio.
Good afternoon to you.
Mighty, and the other guys. Now, you're asking one question, that why should Tuchel accept this job at this twilight of the team? Well, we are all human beings. You've been looking for a job, and the job keeps calling on you. And not even just keep calling for nothing. A big club like Bayern Munich.
And he's a German, and every German coach's ambition is, Bayern Munich.
What he did that was wrong was that he would have allowed the boys to play the normal way they were playing before he came in there for this Champions League. After that, he will now introduce his game from passing from the back. It's not every team that does that. Before yesterday, up Martino was just locked. They would have got the second goal within 2 seconds.
Okay.
So definitely would have allowed them to play the way they want to play.
Okay.
If it goes back to Munich and play the way they were playing, they will beat Man City.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Francis. Okay. Okay, please make this very quick.
From Real Madrid, not this season. Honestly.
Okay.
I'm not a Real Madrid fan, but with the way they are playing and in this competition of the Champions League, they are experts in it.
Okay.
Good afternoon.
All right, thank you very much for calling, guys. Femighty, Chelsea and Real Madrid.
Well, for me, I think it's a straight game, and I would have wished that the first leg is, at Stamford Bridge. So at least Chelsea will have some sort of momentum coming into the second half. But then at the Santiago Bernabeu tonight,
the same Santiago Bernabeu that Villarreal won at.
But then that was La Liga. This is the Champions League. But one thing I know is that Chelsea have nothing to lose at this point in time. Frank Lampard coming on board clearly means Chelsea have nothing to lose, and you have to be wary, you have to be worried, you have to be scared
of someone who has nothing to
someone
lose.
Who has nothing to
they
lose.
can spoil everything for you, spoil the party. Daniel, AC Milan, Napoli.
Well, it's going to be a close match. Not having Osimhen, it will be a close match. I think AC Milan will win by slim margin, probably 2-1 or something of such.
AC Milan to win this one.
Of course.
Okay, what are you saying on Facebook before we leave today? Lots of comments here. Abiodun Falaye says, how can we grow our local league upgraded to Europe? Okay, this is a thesis question that I'm not going to answer on just football. Honestly, it's a lot. It's a lot. And we cannot talk about that in one show. He's asking, do we have a strong home-based team that can go places? Okay, another question begging for answer. It says the Super Falcons needs more to that. They should not celebrate yet until they are number one. All right, thank you for that. Ajibaki Abiodun says, when are we going to become the best in Africa? I mean Super Eagles. Are you asking me? Okay.
Do we have a strong home-based team? Let me not shake me, but we can never have a strong home-based team. Because a good home-based player today is definitely a foreign-based player tomorrow.
Just someone waiting to hop on the next flight out of Nigeria, so you can understand that. Onibola on Israel says, Super Falcons are doing great, but we're still expecting more from them. And Abu Kasim says, good afternoon to you all. To me, Manchester City has qualified to the next round, although anything can happen in football, because football is not mathematics. I don't think Bayern Munich will make it to the semi-final. It says, Chelsea and Real Madrid will end in a draw. That is my prediction. Guys, just a prediction and then we leave. Daniel, let Daniel start. Just prediction.
It's up to it. Chelsea to win 2-1 or at least get a draw. They're not losing.
Okay.
What
about straight?
Everybody I want to bet, I'm ready. Chelsea is going to win 2-1 or at least a draw. They're not losing.
Napoli and
AC Milan will defeat Napoli.
Score
2-1 or 1-0.
Femighty.
Okay, well, I think 2-0 Real Madrid. Chelsea have been struggling in front of the goal. I feel they will continue to struggle. And for Napoli and AC Milan, I think it's a draw.
It's a draw. Okay.
1-0 draw.
Okay, we'll review this tomorrow at Sports Bank. But right now, it's a wrap on Just Football. Thank you very much, everyone who is tuned in, listened to us, called us, sent us messages. We appreciate you so much. Join us again next Wednesday, same time. Femighty will be back here on this side of the divide. But hey, tomorrow on Sports Bank, I'll be taking you through Sports Bank by His Grace. Join us tomorrow by 7:30. I am Blessing Fowowe, and I've worked with Daniel Mayokun and, of course, Femighty. Thank you very much, guys. Au revoir.
Splash FM 105.5.
The message is brought to you by Cowbell Evaporated Milk.